Friday nights during the fall. Six-man fans gather to watch a sermon of grit and determination be delivered by 6 men, 10 minutes at a time, 4 quarters a night. Here you'll find the quarterback, is also the linebacker, and the kicker, where iron sharpens iron, where hard work pays off, and where 6 are won. Now for your host of 6 is 1, Coach Goldman.
Welcome back to 6 is 1. Today we have I'm looking forward to a great conversation with Coach Owen. He's out of the Arlington area with a charter school up there. Coach Owen, how are you doing, sir?
Good, Coach. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, one of the things I think that's awesome about Six-Man is the fact that we have a lot of different diversity. And you're with a charter school, correct, sir? Up in a new charter school, if my understanding, or relatively new. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on there.
Yes, I'm at Texas Leadership Charter Academy in Arlington. Home base, most people probably know, is out in San Angelo. There are 4 campuses. San Angelo's been around a while. They are an 11-man UIL team. Our school is entering our, let me count here, 5th year. So as far as we go this year will be the junior class. So we have yet to graduate. So next year will be our first senior class.
Gotcha. Okay, and so y'all been playing for a couple of years, just putting people on the schedule that are more like JV programs, things like that, up till now.
Yes, I started the program in 2017. That was the first program. It was a JV schedule, totally independent, no league affiliations. We played a JV schedule with 8th and 9th graders. I left for a year due to some health issues within the family, and we are still pretty much going to be a JV. We have 3 varsity scheduled this year.
Okay.
I think I have 1 junior. We'll probably line up with 4 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior.
Yeah, well, there are varsity programs out there looking at that too, Coach. So it's not like it's on our.
Well, we may have to. We were talking earlier. I need week 1 and week 10.
Oh, yeah. Filling weeks can be tough sometimes.
Yes, sir.
So before I get down further, why don't you give us a little bit of backstory? Because I do know that you have an interesting path to coaching, and so why don't you give us a little bit of backstory on how you got to where you are now and some of the coaching stops along the way.
Well, you have a while. First of all, I was fortunate enough to play high school ball at Huntsville High School here in Texas, and play on state championship team 1980, so almost 40 years ago. Went straight into coaching, coached for 13 years, various stops from started at Quinlan Ford. These were all 11-man schools, so this is my first 6-man experience. Another stop, my only other head coaching position was around 1990-91 at St. Joe, back when we were 11-man. So there for a couple of years, spent the majority of my career at Dallas Hillcrest as linebacker coach. I got out of the business and when my son was born, so I spent those several years coaching him in all the youth sports. Actually was not looking for a job. I have a cousin who had coached, was between careers. I was kind of on the Coaches Association job board, ran across this job, which is about 5 minutes from home. The opportunity to start a football program and thought I'd send a resume. I can always say no, and they probably won't respond anyway. Well, I ended up getting hired in 2017, 4 days before the first practice.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, I started, like I said, I stepped out, and this spring when the position opened again, the athletic director, David Beaver, contacted me, and just very excited about a lot of improvements, still a great ground floor opportunity. And here I am again.
Excellent. Well, now, Coach, you have you have any kids that are still around the home front, or are they all up and gone at this point?
I have one son who is about to turn 21.
Okay.
Played a little bit over at Dallas Christian.
Gotcha. Now, and that's, of course, on the 11-man. So you said new to six-man. So out of curiosity, and for a number of those coaches, at some point we were all new to six-man, but it's like anything else in life. You sometimes forget, how to ride. You knew at one time you didn't know how to ride the bike, but now you can't figure out, how to fall off it. But so tell me a little bit about, since you're a little closer to transitioning, what is that transition been like, and what do you find to be probably the most difficult elements, and then what are some of the easier elements of transitioning? So.
Well, I still think it comes down to blocking and tackling. Of course, I think in six-man, of course, tackling in the open field, not being able to run a quarterback sneak or the option with your quarterback. It just depends on how to block some of those guys when they're sending four at you. I think those are probably the hardest elements. I think in 11-man, I feel like at the six-man level, some of your 11-man plays would not have time to develop. I don't. I may be wrong, but bootlegs, things like that, and that quarterback spot too. And so how to adapt to that and get the ball in someone else's hands for them to become the quarterback that can run through and not worry about crossing the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I guess to drill down a little bit further on that, when you sit down and you look, and because I remember not that long ago, and there's just so many different offenses. Let's stay on the offensive side of the ball. There's so many different ways that people go about this. Some, whether it's a wing tee, whether it's shotgun wing, whether it's jaybird, whether it's, some form of wing tight, or, so what did you focus on and said, that's kind of where I would like to go, and how did you decide upon that, or is it still kind of fluctuating? And what is your what would take us through that thought process of kind of how you just picked out the first offense or set of offenses that you decided to run?
Well, it was pretty easy in the last time I did this, because I think the type of kids you have, is pretty well going to dictate what you're going to do. We really could not last time line up with two wideouts because we had some wide bodies, but that needed to be. They were definitely not wide receivers, so we had more of those types of kids. So we were in a tight formation. We were a center and two guards. We've done a little bit of both, and we will continue to do that. We'll go under center as well, but it's the type of kids dictated where we start, and I think you need a home base, and for us, that's going to be a basic type formation and running basic sweep and power and lead and play action and those types of things. And then from there, depending on the kids you have, you can become very multiple.
Now, do you have a junior high program too, Coach, or do you have just do you catch them just when they come into?
Yeah, that's an interesting story, Coach. Up until this year, we are excited. This is our first year of tackle junior high football, and we have 18 kids, 7th and 8th grade.
Wow.
In the past, we had played in a flag football charter league. And so up until this year, 6th and 7th graders played junior high flag. 8th and 9th and even 10th graders played a JV schedule of tackle football. But we are 18 kids. We have a great diversity as far as linemen, skill positions, receivers, running backs. We're really excited about that and building that into the future and trying to keep some of these kids here. That's been an obstacle, been a challenge. Kids leaving our charter school, but our school administrators have done a fantastic job of improving facilities and courses that are being offered, et cetera.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, the having a junior high program, certainly, and that's a large, I mean, by all stretches of the imagination, that's a very large. I can tell you, we've never had one that large. And that's something you can easily build on there, without a doubt. Now your varsity, since you are playing, I guess that's now 9 through 11, and you mentioned that a lot of those are going to be younger guys. How many? What are your numbers? Aren't 18 there, are they, Coach?
We hope we have 6.
Really?
Yeah, we still have a lot of kids who really we're not sure if they're coming back or not. We're going to be pretty low. We're going to be pretty low on numbers at that level. I'd be happy if we have 10.
Okay. Well, I've been there quite a few years with those numbers. It's not, and a lot of those that are playing in the D2s, those are the numbers that you oftentimes see if you make. So in terms of you mentioned earlier on that you had an independent schedule. So you're in a league now, or?
Okay, so we are actually in UIL starting this year. Of course, we're in the middle of realignment, so it's still I like that 6-man term outlaw schedule. So we next year we'll next realignment we'll go into a district, but this year, yes sir, we're still an independent schedule.
Gotcha. And so help me better understand, because I know that there are some charter schools. We play with 2 charter schools in our league. So do you get a decision, I'm guessing, as a charter school as to what league you want to go, whether you go UIL or into one of the other leagues? Is that kind of the way?
Yeah, there's TCAF, TCAL, those things. I believe you could. There are some other possibilities there to go in, but I know this has been pushed for quite a while, and it's finally happened. It's really nice to sign up on the UIL portal to start getting all my certifications in, et cetera. But we've just been straight independent. We've not been in a league other than the junior high flag being in a charter league that is put on.
I got you. Yeah. So now, when you go in with the UIL, are there other charter schools that you'll more than likely be aligned with, or is it just?
No, I don't see any. In fact, I believe, and I may be wrong, but from my research, we will be the only 6-man UIL school in the DFW metropolitan area. Irving Universal was at one time, and I believe they're no longer a part of UIL. Yeah,
I mean that is unique, because most of the charters that I've come across, like I said, have been not in UIL, have been in.
But I've looked at other districts. It's kind of fun to say, well, where could we go?
Yeah.
Geographically, down that, I guess, Hill, Bosque County area, a couple of districts down there. That doesn't have any charter schools. I think probably after that, probably going to the north, Spartanburg, Goldberg, St. Joe, up in that area. But still, I have not seen any other charter schools that I don't feel like we'd be lined up with.
Yeah, I can tell you, Coach, I guess there are 3, maybe 4. I don't know, but they're the ones that are here are 2 in Austin, right? That we have and I don't think there's 1 in Houston and 1 in San Antonio. But our league, which is Teo, that we play out of, pretty much it's just those homeschool leagues out of that area and a couple of private schools up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But yeah, well, that's kind of exciting. You'll have to travel. It sounds like y'all got a bus.
We do. We do. We have a couple buses. Well, we have one bus, another one coming. We have 2 vans. So we have small numbers with our high school group. We'll just.
Well, not in a couple of years, Coach. Not if you can.
Not in a couple of years. No, we'll definitely be on the Yellow Dog there. So we got another bus coming. But we have, right now we're going to St. Joe twice to play JV games. We're going to Waco, play Coach Rogers at Waco Methodist, and we're meeting Coach Johnson and his Prairie League squad in Waco on the first Saturday game too.
Okay.
Those are our biggest trips at this point. Of course, I still have 2 others scheduled, so we'll see how that works out.
And just those that are listening, you had week 1 and week 10 you're still looking for, right, Coach?
Yes, week 1, week 10.
Week 1 and week 10, yeah. Well, there's, it's interesting. Things still they always tend to line up eventually. Things change and adapt. And I'll keep an ear out too if I hear anything. And of course,
yes, what we had scheduled was the same team twice with a JV, and I think they had a very late coaching change, and it happens. It's going to happen with numbers and stuff at the 6-man level. Remember last time the schedule we started with ended up not looking anything like what we finished with. So yeah, you have to be able to adapt.
So give me a little bit of understanding about what the a lot of charter schools don't have football at all. They've opted not to to stay at the flag, and then is this something that has been well received, marginally received? People don't know quite what to do with it yet, or how's the program impacted the school at large?
It's still growing. I mean, it's well received. I think as we grow and do some things, we've just purchased a fitness facility down the street within jogging distance. Works out good for our weight room, and that's great. And I think that just shows students and parents alike, commitment to athletics in general. We're still, being here in the city, it's a little different than the small town, and we still have some culture changing to do within our program and within our community to try to create that small town community feel that's so beautiful in 6-man. So I'm working on that.
Gotcha. Well, now, just so, because there's a lot of us that are, every charter is different. That's what's unique about charter schools, right? I've learned that now that, every time I talk with coaches from charter schools, I've learned, they're not, everyone's unique in the way that, for example, we have a charter school over here near us that has 0 sports. That's part of their charter. They will not have sports, which I thought was unique, to say the least. But so when you're with respect to your charter, where do you draw your students from? Is it open enrollment, pretty wide net you cast in, or is it pretty regional? How is yours?
We are. We sit right. If you're familiar with Arlington at all, Six Flags Hurricane Harbor, we're about a mile behind Hurricane Harbor.
Okay.
We're very centrally located, but we have kids coming from Fort Worth. We do have a pretty good nucleus of kids from the neighborhood, so to speak, multifamily housing areas. So yeah, we're pretty open. And let me just say this: like I say, we are a leadership. That's another thing. Different charters have different focuses. We are a leadership school, so our kids have a class in leadership every day, and that's all based on Franklin Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
That we try to instill. I think you mix those together with the life lessons taught in athletics and football, give these kids an advantage when they come out of here.
Well, that's interesting. So it's a leadership based upon those basic leadership principles, and so those are the underpinnings, I guess, for everything at the school.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's helpful when you got everybody rowing the boat that way. I mean, leadership certainly plays in large factor in what you're trying to develop with athletes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The program itself. I mean, you have football. You have. I'm guessing you have pretty much every other, because football tends to be the last one. It doesn't seem to be the lead dog in any of these. So I'm guessing you got a few other sports there. Most of your.
Yeah, we started out with. I think they started out here with just basketball. Of course, we have volleyball, basketball, on both boys and girls side. Track we are adding this year. Really about all. We don't have the individual sports, the golf and tennis. We don't have soccer at this time. We've had baseball, and in the past, we're not sure about what direction that's going to go. To be honest with you, but I mean, other than that, yes, we pretty well, we have the major sports covered, just not the individual sports, and not soccer.
Gotcha. Now on the 6-man front, turning a little bit back to football. Defensively, and what I always ask Coach, because I'm offense. It's the guy. It's the last guy with the chalk always wins, right? So, or I guess nowadays it's the mouse or whatever you're using. But defensively, what would be the things that that you've kind of having a couple of years in now, and I'm sure running up against probably some pretty good seasoned coaches and players. What have you found that is the most difficult to point to get across, or the most difficult thing to achieve on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, it's hard to maintain run support and cover the pass, but it's just so much. Why these scores are so high, I guess, and that's why on offense we're going to play keep away as much as possible. It's that so much territory to cover, so we just try to make sure everything's covered. And by the way, I'll give a shout out, if you don't mind, to my defense coordinator, Trevor Shaw. Another, kind of getting off subject here, but another blessing here is having 2 full-time assistants. Last time I had 1 volunteer. So Coach Shaw was here last year and does a great job, and he'll be coordinate the defense. But personally, my philosophy is, I think you have to. We're going to be aggressive. I'm more of a sick 'em, go after them type of defensive coach. Almost, dare you to throw it. I'm an old coach that still feels like if you throw the ball, what is it?
2 things.
3 out of the 4 things that can happen are not good. So, but yeah, it is. It's just hard to try to cover the run and the pass, and to have all those, to ask this guy to cover a lot of territory and do a variety of things.
Well, when you line up against somebody, let me ask you this one. So if you had your choice, would you rather go against a spread team, somebody that's going to spread it out on you, or somebody that's going to, pull it in tight and, try to...
I'd rather go against the spread, hands down.
Yeah. I'm actually there with you. Yeah, it depends, because some of those guys, it's always a more physical game. I always say when we go up against teams that just decide they're going to pound on us for 4 quarters.
Yeah, they pound on you, then that physically wears on you.
Yeah,
do. And if you're low on numbers, you know, that can really wear you out.
Yeah, we ran into a Medina team a few years back. I think they ended up being like, they were a top 20 team in the state at the end of that year. And boy, they rotated backfields on us. Literally.
Oh.
The first half was one group of guys, and the second half was a different group of guys. And we couldn't tell the difference except for the numbers on their backs. And that the second group looked a lot like the first group in the first minute of the first quarter. Except for it was the third quarter, right? Yeah, that was a life experience right there, a coaching lesson there to realize, boy, we were tied at halftime, but that was long gone by the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we did that a couple of years ago. I mean, we played a really good Bryson. That's a great program. You know, even though we're playing their JV, they had a lot more depth. They were bigger, stronger. They had a weight room. You could tell. The same thing. We were tied. We were right there with them through three quarters. But, yeah, they pounded us. And same thing. Fourth quarter rolls around. And all of a sudden, the depth, the size, the strength, just and the pounding you like that, running the football, that shit wears on you. You got away from us.
Well, I tell you, having a weight room really is we've been a program for 12 years, going on our 13th season, and we now just got a weight room. So you're blessed to get one early, because that really is a huge difference maker. You know, when you tell young men to take care of their own weight training, it does not work nearly as well as having them come to a central location and feed off of each other, so to speak. And
yes,
that has been a big change in our program in just every aspect, and we've only had one recently. So
yeah, we just actually took ownership June the 1st. We were able to use it, or they were able to use it a little bit late in May. We've not had great turnout this summer, but our kids don't drive. We have one kid that drives, and that's so I think that'll grow. The attendance will grow.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've found that the seniors pull everybody. Seniors and juniors drag along the freshmen and sophomore, so to speak.
Well, once you get a few, they can pick up the younger kids and be part of changing the culture and get this summer weight room really full of kids and getting ready for August.
Yeah. Now, so tell us a little bit. You're obviously you've got week 1 and week 10. You're running a more of a JV schedule, but you did say you had a few varsities on your, which is good because that always gives you a challenge. Which of the varsities you got on your schedule this year, Coach?
2 are charters, Irving Universal, which will actually be our only home game, and we're renting a facility. We do not have a home stadium, so we will play all of our games on the road. So Irving Universal, Mesquite Founders Classical Academy, so those are 2 charters, and then Prairie Lee. We're meeting Prairie Lee at Waco Parkview, kind of late October-ish on a Saturday. Okay.
Well, we're gonna get my littles on this podcast. So I have 4 older children and 2 foster children. Well, one's now adopted, so 1 foster child.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing for it.
Well, having my only child is adopted, so means a lot to me.
Yeah, Ezra has been a true blessing. But I tell folks, and my son's going to kill me for saying this, but I can't miss the opportunity. So I have 3 sons now, the 2 olders, and the term they use, biological. I think that's great.
Yes.
But the oldest one is 17, or when this was taking place, and that we had a 2-year-old and come in one day and. They're sitting there, and the 17-year-old's throwing a couch pillow and knocking the 2-year-old off the couch, and the 2-year-old's picking himself up, picking the pillow up, running it back over to the 17-year-old, and jumping back up on the couch to do it again. And I come in and witness this, and I said, the only difference between a 17-year-old and a 2-year-old is a driver's license. I mean,
Yeah.
both these guys,
I got news for you. It may not change for a few years.
Yeah. But they eat like they'll eat you out of house and home, both of them, and they're both bulletproof, and it's interesting, but it's truly a blessing. Well, now that's a lot. So you got right now 7 games on the road, 1 at home, and 2 more you're looking to pick up. So that's tough in and of itself. Those road games can just be. That can be tough. So you got.
Yeah, last time we played 10. Last year they played 10. So hey, all we need is white jerseys now.
Yeah.
Save us a little.
I never thought. Yeah, but that's a lot of cleaning too. That's
It is.
Getting the grass stains out of the white.
Lots of shout it out.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's true. I never thought about it needing only white jerseys. Yeah, well, I can tell you that that jerseys have been a difficult element for us through our program. I hope you get we've had a number of color changes through our years. We can't seem to get solidified, and people, while that's fine when you're the basketball program, the football program, it's a little expensive to make drastic changes in your.
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, there's some idea out there that we may do that. We may change that. This we kind of use something similar to the Philadelphia Eagle logo, and we're too close to Cowboy Stadium to have that. So I don't. We have a hard enough time with money as it is. I hope we don't do that. But it's being tossed around. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I just hope you don't have to do it. Through the years, I've often looked at some of the old clips and films, and people don't even know that, who is that team? I mean, that was us. That was back when we were red and blue. Yeah, we haven't had red for 5 years or whatever, 6 years. But
we have it. Everything's Carolina blue and black, and I just I hope we
stay there. Yeah. Now before we part ways, you got to tell me a little bit about, because you did tell me that when you weren't coaching, you were doing your real estate. So now I have to ask on this front. I would think that it would be very difficult to go back into the real estate business once you've been in the coaching business. Just simply because at least in my neck of the woods, I would probably, I don't know if I would be well received in all parts of my community.
Well, the Metroplex is so big that
you can bury yourself.
My deal though is my wife Rebecca and I are both realtors, so we're a team, a partnership, and she will continue to keep that going.
Okay.
I'm sure on the weekend or something, I'll do a little technology and marketing out there that really doesn't take long. It's kind of I'll still have a little bit of contribution there, very little, but because I'm going to be very busy and very all in on this and very excited about it.
Well, I tell you what, that is the growing a program. I think there's just a lot to be said from being with it from the ground up, like you are, being able to sow into it and see it build. Like you said, you got just build a culture. I mean, it's not. I mean, we'd all love to have sort of the Strawn or the Garden City or the Milford type cultures, but I was talking with Coach Jones a few weeks back, and they have, I asked them when they start. They have Little League six-man. I said, Little League six-man. Wow. Yeah, and
that's cool. I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, I mean, well, just think about. I mean, those are kids that have, they've been thinking about Friday night since they were 7. Right, I mean that in a 6-man format, right? That is, by the time you get to play those guys, they're there's a culture there definitely that you're almost fighting
Oh,
against at the same
admire
time.
it. I love watching documentaries or whatever. Just on the different. I've enjoyed listening to all the coaches. I did listen, Coach Jones, and that's hard. It is hard to establish, and that's what I was saying earlier. That small town community feel when you're here in the city, and there's so many other things, and people are going so many different directions. But definitely something I want to do, and.
Well, no, y'all going to have plans? I mean, part of that's is certainly getting a facility. That's helpful, or at least more permanent. We've got a charter. Well, it's a homeschool here that team, but they've got a pretty regular facility they use, and that they've made that kind of like their home, field, and I think they've got a long lease on it and all that kind of thing.
We have a practice area. We got a patch of grass out there. It's not exactly level and about 60 yards, and we're excited. We're getting a goalpost this year.
There you go. Hey.
Also, it's going to be a big day for us. And right now we do have this weight room down the street. Other than that, we no gym, no dressing room. Our basketball uses. Luckily, we're right down the street from a big city of Arlington recreation center that we utilize, and they play their basketball plays their home games over at UTA's recreation facilities.
That's all good. Yeah, we're there with you. We're still trying to find working our way to getting a facility for our volleyball and our basketball, and we're borrowing and playing where we can and bartering, I should say.
Well, we're getting there. You can't get it all at once. This is obviously a big step. Staff additions, school improvements. So
staff's huge. I can't tell you that's a real. I mean, that you can get a lot more accomplished when you certainly have people that are willing to step up and be permanent fixtures within your program, and you can get some stability.
Yeah, to be able to hire 2 assistant coaches. Like I said, last time I had one volunteer who was actually my cousin, who was kind of in between careers and is now coaching down Hillsboro. But having 2 full-time guys there makes a big difference.
Oh, it sounds like you got some great things going, especially with the 18 kids out for junior. That's
7th and 8th graders.
Yeah, and now they're going to be able to get a full schedule for them, or
We do. We're full.
That's excellent, because that really is.
I'm sorry.
I said that's excellent. That's where you can work off that. That's a not that you want to you obviously got the varsity and you give your best to, but that is that's how you grow it.
Where it starts, and I remember I mentioned earlier playing on the state championship team that our head coach came to town when I was in the 7th grade, and they started instilling the program, and lo and behold, 5 years later. So Coach Joe Clements, kind of a legend, won a lot of games, but that's where it starts, and just thrilled about those numbers and the type of kids we have. And they've been very receptive, worked hard, so really pumped about that.
That's excellent. So now you've coached any other sports besides football, or are you doing just the football for the school?
Who knows? If we had baseball, I'd be the baseball coach.
Okay.
I've coached some baseball in the past. If not, probably track and
off-season football. Yeah. There you go. Well, track is, and we don't have a baseball facility here. Numbers were a challenge. Track just benefits all programs. Yeah. Oh, no, it does.
You can take, one kid can score you some points.
Oh, yeah.
So I've even heard mention of junior high girls basketball. So, hey, with all my years and coaching in some smaller towns, I've been around it all. I've coached football, basketball, baseball, track, and even had a stint as a high school golf coach at one time.
Oh, wow.
Probably the job I never should have left. Huh? Good gig.
Yeah, well, I can assure you one thing: I will not be coaching golf. Not unless it's.
Well, the requirement was you had to beat me in order to make the team.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be a high bar for me, so I think they'd all be safe. Like I said, we would maybe putt. Well, now, Coach, at the end, I always like to, kind of end on a little jovial note. So, in all your years of coaching, I'm sure you come across a few officials that have perplexed you from time to time, and maybe in any one particular sport. Probably not golf. I hope they aren't officiating golf. But what? Leave us with a story about if somewhere an official or a crew or I like to give a ribbon out to the guys in black and white.
Now, a crew that
or just a call, a moment, just something that just made you go, "Are you kidding me? That just happened?" I don't know if you've had any of those. Not to put you on the spot.
I don't know that. I mean, I can think of, you're probably coaching basketball where it really stands out more. You look up and you got 26 fouls and the other team has 2. I can remember some of those taking place one time at a school down there, Waxahachie. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now, we did, as a high school golf coach, I was always in charge of the district tournament, but we would vote on stuff. But we did disqualify a guy one year for pulling a fish out of the pond and beating him with his.
Okay, that works.
We DQ'd him in the district tournament.
First of all, that's incredible that he got the fish out of the pond. I mean, you ought to just.
I don't know. He was right there on the edge. He was probably, maybe he wasn't in good health anyway. But he got him out of there with a sand wedge and then just started beating him with a 3-iron. And we just thought it was cruel and unusual. And
oh man,
we DQ'd him and he was on the team that was competing for the district championship.
Wow. Yeah, probably. Okay, that didn't think there'd be a golf one in there, but that takes the cake right there. That's pretty good. I have to say, that's kind of a Caddyshack-ish moment right there. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Full Happy Gilmore.
There you go. There. One you probably won't hear from anyone else.
No, I don't think.
On a 6-man football with.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, Coach, we thank you for taking the time. We wishing you all the best for the season. Best of luck filling out the rest of your schedule. Sounds like you got great things going on. You got, building a program. Looking forward to following you and seeing how that develops. All the best. Enjoy it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to get a chance after being out all those years. I'll be hitting 60 here in about 3 years and haven't been out, and the chance to get back and do, what's in your blood and what you love doing and building relationships and trying to make a difference. And is feel very fortunate and blessed to be able to do that.
That's great, Coach. All right, well, I'm told that I need to be a little more forceful. If you get a chance and you're watching this program, you like what we do, we'd certainly appreciate you to like and share. If you're on YouTube, if you're on SoundCloud or anything else, go to sixes1.com, sign up so you can get on and know about the upcoming episodes that we have. We appreciate all the support and for you sharing as much as you can. Coach Owens, thank you again for today.
Thank you, Coach.
And
wishes to you guys this year.
Oh, thanks you, Coach. So God bless to everyone and have a great day.